Hey everybody, welcome back to the hangar deck. First and foremost, let me say to all of those that I have served with, that have served, that I am related to, or whether I'm not related to them, if you have served, happy Veterans Day. Now you might ask, what is the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day? I'm glad you asked. Veterans Day is the day that we celebrate all those that served this country. It was started after World War I to commemorate those that served during World War I. It was first known as Armistice Day because the day that World War I ended was called the armistice, when an armistice was signed by all the belligerents, ending the Great War, or World War I. And then later it became known as Veterans Day. Memorial Day is the day that we honor all of those that gave their last full measure to this country. Now, what does that mean? That means that is the day we honor those that died fighting for this country. And then there is a third day called Armed Forces Day. And Armed Forces Day, which falls in May, is the day we honor all of those that are in uniform serving this country. So if you served this country, then your day is today, Veterans Day. If you know a loved one that died while serving this country, that is known as Memorial Day. Now, we have extended that out to those that served this country and then have passed away. And we've also extended it out to friends and relatives. It was known as Decoration Day at one time. And then if you are currently serving this country, if you are in uniform, then your day is Armed Forces Day. So, happy Veterans Day from the hangar deck. All right, I was on a trip this week, so I didn't get a lot done on the Vindicator. I assure you they built these a lot faster in the factory than I have done here. But I've got the fuselage all together. You can see the cockpit is all complete. And if you look really close, lighting's not too good. Let's see what we can do about that. You can see a little bit from back there, and if we shine this over here, maybe you can see down into the cockpit a little bit. And then I've got some cleanup to do. I've got a pretty bad seam back here, pretty bad gap that I'll have to fill. I tried to use some super glue to take care of some of that and didn't do so hot. And then I've got the normal seams and whatnot to fill in up here. I've done a video or two on that, on how I do seams and finishing up seams. So you might want to check that out on my page. But we'll get that done here in pretty short order. But tonight we are going to talk about the wing. So this is the wing parts, the main wing parts. We have the lower part of the wing, and then we have the two upper parts of the wing. You'll notice that here these are all painted silver. That's because pretty much this entire aircraft, anywhere it wasn't finished, was bare metal. So you'll be able to see up into that wheel well. And so we painted that with a little silver. Okay, there's our lower part. Now we'll open up the upper part. It's at a pretty nice little hobby shop this week. Actually, it was yesterday. It's a hobby shop called B&B Hobbies. It is in Augusta, Georgia. So if you're in that area, you might go check them out. As with a lot of people, not just in hobbies, but even at your local grocery store, their inventory is a little bit low. But they have a little bit of everything. It's not a huge shop, but they have been in business for 44 years, and they have a lot of suppliers, or several suppliers, and they can get you things that they don't have on the shelf. So don't be afraid to go check them out. All right, so we have our wing parts here. Now we're going to look for our main spar. So within wings, there are spars, there are ribs, and they are the skeletal part of the airplane. There is a spar that runs the length of the fuselage, and I think I'm using that terminology right. I was an aircraft structural mechanic back in the Navy, but that was a long time ago. But anyway, there was, where I went to A school, was in Memphis, Tennessee. It was Naval Air Station Memphis in Millington, Tennessee. And they had an F-4B Phantom that was on display, and it looked like a perfectly fine aircraft, except that it had made a hard landing and it broke the main spar in the fuselage, I believe, if I remember right. And once that happens, that aircraft basically cannot be rebuilt. You'll see the same, or you may see the same thing happen to a ship if you ever hear them say that they broke the keel. The keel is the main frame member in the bottom of a ship. If that gets broken, that ship is done. If it doesn't sink outright, it's going to be, it's not going to be much good. Okay, so according to our instructions here, we're supposed to put this main spar. It says the ribs on the spar go aft, line the arrow. So let's see if we see an arrow here. Aha. We have a little line. We're going to line the arrow right there, and it warns you that if you don't put this in just right, that you'll release the Kraken. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't put it in right, then our wing won't go back together, or won't go together, won't assemble right. So it looks to me like we're going to put that in. Somebody said hold your hand up. Going to go in just like that. So we're going to talk now. We're going to talk a little bit about glue. So we've got some Tamiya extra thin, and we have some more Tamiya extra thin quick setting, and then we have some Tamiya cement. Now it's a little bit thicker. I kind of like it for things like landing gear and support parts that I'm going to put in place and then let it set for quite a while before I, so it'll set in place. So for this particular project here, we're going to use the standard Tamiya here, and I'll show you. All you have to do is just touch that right there, and that will wick right down where you want it to go. It's pretty cool stuff. Okay, let's see if we can put a clamp right there. Okay, and we'll move on. And if you're not making good contact with the surface, then obviously the glue is not going to be as effective. And that's probably not showing you a whole lot. And then last but not least, we'll do this side over here. Okay. All right. And just for the fun of it, we'll go do the back side here right quick. Okay. So that looks good. So we'll let that set for a couple minutes, and then we'll go in and do the upper half. Now it says that there are some wing cannons, or wing machine guns. They probably weren't cannons at this time. Let's see what it calls them. Locate wing, or locate gun barrels, number 83. I think I just saw those a while ago. What did I do with them? What did I do? That's not it. So you can tell I'm a professional here because I had all this stuff laid out. I was ready to go. That's how all us professionals roll. Let's see here. Aha, I think we found it. 83. All right, now my only question is, where in the world do those things go? Doesn't really show you on the drawing. It shows them going into a little hole. Oh. Maybe that hole is, aha, right there. And they gave you four of them, but I think they gave you 4 of them just in case you lose one. Looks like it only goes in one spot. Well, it could be. All right, we'll do that right now. Except picked up the wrong one. All right. Normally when I do gun barrels and things like that, typically a lot of the kits that I make that have, you know, World War II aircraft, what have you, that have guns in them where the barrels stick out. A really good example would be the P-47. They had 4 50 caliber machine guns in each wing, and you could see 3 of them sticking out, and they kind of stuck out like fingers, except, well, like this finger isn't long enough, but so you'd have one here, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the 4th one would be hidden. I usually don't put those in until I get all finished with the model, because they typically just go in and glue. And it's just something to knock off if you put them in. I was building a, what did I build? Oh, I think it was the Wildcat that I built. And I put the top antenna on. And when I did it, I thought, now you got to be careful here or you're going to knock that antenna off. And I was careful for about 5 minutes, and then I knocked the antenna off. Some people's kids, I don't know. But anyway, okay. So we think we know where this is going to go. I'm going to open this little hole up here just a little bit more. Oops. It's not open me up. I don't want to be leaking. So I got some new tweezers, and they're made by XL. And I was just using these cheapo tweezers, and I thought maybe these would work better. So we'll see. I think that's going to have to be opened up a little bit more. It says locate the gun barrels. So that would that would indicate that there's more than one. The gun barrels. You learned back in grade school that if there's an S on the end of the there's an S on the end of the word, that means there's more. So, I do not see a locator on the other wing for that. Okay, so we're going to let that set for just a minute. Now, some of you guys know that one of the problems with, or one of the challenges when using this Tamiya glue is knocking it over and it all dumping. Now I'm going to share with you a little secret that I have, how I keep from dumping my glue. And I'm really reluctant to share this with you because I'm afraid that as soon as I share it with you, I'm going to dump my glue. But the way I keep from dumping my glue is I put the lid back on. It seems simple, but believe me, and it doesn't have to be really tight. Just making contact is good enough. Okay, now let's take these clamps off here. Hang these back up, pardon the reach. Okay, now there is just, if we look at this, where this hole lines up, yep, it does line up about right there. Okay. All right. So, we shall put this gun barrel in question in place. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Put a drop of Tamiya right there. And there we have one gun barrel in place. But I don't see any place else to put them. So what I might do before I close this wing up is do a teeny bit of research on the magic box and find out how many wing guns did a Vindicator have. If it's more than one, then we're going to have to go find where we want the next one. Okay, that's it from the hangar deck. I think I've probably taken up enough of your time. Thank you for thank you for the kind comments that people have left. And I would continue to ask that you like and share. And as I've always said, this whole internet thing is a vast smorgasbord of information, and you take a little information here on how to build a model and a little information here on how to build a model, and pretty soon you get yourself a nice well-rounded plate. So if you use some of my information, that's fantastic. If you decide not to, that's fine too. It's all up to you. It's a free country. At least that's what they tell me. Okay, so that's it from the hangar deck. I want to once again wish all you veterans out there happy Veterans Day. And I also want to say, when you leave, please be careful. Avoid the prop arcs and the jet blast. All right, be careful out there. Have a great day. Bye-bye.